Christina Bettis, pitcher, Swansea, Illinois.
Kennedy Kohler, pitcher, utility, Bontown, Missouri.
Allie Cook, pitcher, Troy, Missouri.
Haley Mills, pitcher, Mexico, Missouri. Haley Ferris, pitcher, Camdenton, Missouri.
Danielle Lindsey, catcher, utility, O'Fallon, Missouri.
Kennedy Sudduth, catcher, Troy, Missouri.
Tara Haig, catcher, utility, Osawatomie, Kansas.
Adriana Martinez, first base, Sugar Land, Texas.
Sierra Birch, first base, Jackson, Missouri.
Lauren Duff, first base, Arnold, Missouri.
Amelia Stone, second base, St. Louis, Missouri.
Morgan Conklin, second base, Jackson, Missouri.
Kelly Williams, second base, Winsville, Missouri.
Riley Egan, shortstop, Winsville, Missouri.
Morgan Billings, shortstop, Bowling Green, Missouri.
Jesse Vaselski, third base, Barnhart, Missouri.
Randy Simons, outfield, Warsaw, Missouri.
Megan Hagemeyer, outfield, Ellsbury, Missouri.
Bailey Schumann, outfield, Hillsborough, Missouri.
Kelsey Boyd, outfield, Hillsborough, Missouri.
Emma Vaughn, catcher and outfield, Peebler, Missouri.
Avery Packhorn, outfield, Columbia, Missouri.
Thanks for being here, everybody, for softball on JCTV. Missouri Baptist University is here today to take on the Lady Vikings. It's Christina Bettis pitching for Jeffco, and she will start things off with a ball to Kristen Keith of the Lady Spartans. One and one. I'm Matt Keeney with JCTV. Always appreciate those of you tuning in on YouTube, Vimeo, as the ump will come out into the circle to have a word with Bettis. Not sure what that's about. But it's 1-1 to Keith. And she offers at that, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jeffco is 3-3 so far on this young season. And that butt is foul past Jesse Vaselski, the third baseman for the Vikings. Jeffco is coming off 2 wins in a big way over Mineral Area in a doubleheader, 10-0 and 14-0. Next week is spring break here at the college, as that's high, so full count. And the Lady Vikings will travel to Arkansas, Fayetteville, to play in the Crowder tournament. The payoff pitch struck her out. And so that brings in Tayana Jones, excuse me, the right fielder for MOBAP. Showing bunt, taken for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. And there's a strike on the outside corner, number 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Bettis, the sophomore, is 2-1 as another strikeout. 2 up, 2 down. Excuse me, the most recent stats I just printed off today from NJCAA.com has Bettis at 8-2, 8-2 so far this season with 7 complete games. So that seems like probably some of last year's stats are included in that, since we're so early on in the season. But either way, she's an excellent pitcher for Jeffco. She was outstanding last year, and she's back this year. Of course, the season was interrupted last year due to COVID, as we all know, so perhaps that is part of the picture on those statistics. Right now, Bettis is behind, 3 balls and no strikes. There are 2 outs, and this is Colby Brake for Mobat. And it's 3-1. And a walk. So 1 on with 2 out. And Miranda Brown will come to the plate. Fouled off. Big cut for strike 2, 0-2. And Bettis strikes out the side. No score going to the bottom of the first. Riley Egan will lead it off for Jeffco. Then it's Lauren Duff and Kelsey Boyd to round out the top of the order. And strike 1 from Delana Mentel for Mobat. Inside, ball 1. Egan is a freshman from Wentzville. She's the shortstop. And that one bounces in the dirt. 2-1. Three and one. Time is called. And there's a base hit. First hit of the game. So Lauren Duff will stand in. The sophomore from Arnold and Fox High School, as Missouri Baptist will already talk things over. Now Lauren Duff, and again, I guess these are last year's statistics now that I look at it, but last year she hit .348 with 5 home runs and 21 RBIs, so we certainly know she has some power, as does the hitter on deck, Kelsey Boyd, inside for strike 1. That's in the dirt, and Egan will advance to second. And it's 1-1. There's a grounder, handled by the shortstop, and Duff is thrown out at first, but Egan advances to third. So 1 out, and here is Boyd. She's the sophomore outfielder from Hillsboro, Missouri. And she has the chance to put Jeffco on top. Ball one. So if you're wondering, fans can come out and see games this season. There are some seats blocked off, and of course asked to wear masks if you can't physically distance. So we know the drill by now, but you may want to look into doing that, as that's fouled off 1-1. You can find the schedule online at jeffco.edu/athletics. The next game after today will be March 28th as State Fair Community College will be here for a doubleheader. As Boyd will step out. Inside, 2-1. Bottom of the first, 1 out. Vikings have a runner on third. And here comes the 2-1. 3-1. Catcher was able to keep it in front of her. The 3-1, Boyd walks. So runners at the corners with 1 away for the catcher, Kennedy Sutterth. She's a sophomore from Troy, Missouri. Jesse Vaselski is on deck. And Mintel taking her time, as she's been doing, and that's high in the air. Left field. It is a windy day, by the way, and it's off the wall. It will score 1 for the Vikings for sure. And that will be it as Boyd comes into third base. So an RBI for Sutterth. Jeffco leads it 1-0 after Egan comes around. So Sutterth ends up at second, and Boyd is at third. And as Vaselski calls for time, it's granted. She's the sophomore from Barnhart and Windsor High School. And that one bounces. Ball 1. Popped in the air, right side. Catch is made by the second baseman, so 2 outs. Runners will stay put. So 2 on with 2 outs for the pitcher, Christina Bettis. There's a strike. Bettis is from Swansea, Illinois. And she'll send that into left field for a base hit. It will score another run for Jeffco, and here comes a third as the pitcher couldn't handle it. And Sudworth probably would have scored anyway, but it's 3-0 after 2 RBIs and a double from Christina Bettis. And swing and a miss from Amelia Stone, the freshman from St. Louis. That one in the dirt, 1-1. Two and one inside. Megan Hegemeyer is on deck. And there is a sharp one from Stone. It's a base hit. Bettis will score. It's 4-0 Jeffco, and Stone makes it into second. So 4-0 Vikings. As Hegemeyer stands in, sophomore from Ellsbury, Missouri. And she will look at strike number 1. One and one. There's a grounder past the third baseman and the shortstop. Stone rounding third. She'll score. 5-0 Jeffco. Here's Rainey Simons for Jeffco. So the Lady Vikings will bat around here in the bottom of the first. They're already lead at 5-0. Simons is a freshman from Warsaw, Missouri. And she'll look at ball 1. So Riley Egan led things off with a hit. Then Lauren Duff with a fielder's choice. Kelsey Boyd walked. Sudworth with a single and an RBI. Vaselski with a pop out. Bettis with a double that scored 2. Amelia Stone with a double that scored 1. And Megan Hegemeyer scored another with the single, and she's on first. Still 2 outs. A lot of that damage done with 2 outs. And it's 1-1 on Simons. 2-1. Two and two. And Simons check swings, and it's foul. Slow roller, just foul. So it's 2-2. Mobap's coach asking whether that was a bunt attempt, which would be an out, but umpire says no, it was a swing. So 2-2, 2 outs, runner on first for Jeffco, and they lead it 5-0. And there is a strikeout to round out the first inning, but Jeffco jumps on top, 5-zip. Kaylee Morris will lead it off for Missouri Baptist. Vikings lead at 5-0. Bettis back to work. Ball 1. One and one. Two and one. That one's fouled right side, 2-2. And another strikeout. Number 4 for Bettis. It's Nia Ragland for Missouri Baptist. And that makes it 1-1. One and two. Strikeout number 5. I believe they've all been swinging. So every hitter so far has struck out besides Colby Brake, who had a walk in the first. Ball 1 to Jacqueline Stewart. Bunt attempt off the bat, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and one. And the 2-2 is high, full count. Fouled to the backstop. And yet another strikeout. 6 so far for Christina Bettis. Back to the top of the order, and Riley Egan in the bottom of the second. So the Vikings batted around in the first, and there's a sharp grounder to third. It's handled, and one away. Jeffco leads it 5-0. So one out for Lauren Duff. Duff reached on a fielder's choice, her first time up. And she'll send one in the air to center, out number 2. Now it's Kelsey Boyd who walked the first time. That was inside, ball 1. 1-1. The 2-1. Ball 2. High in the air, out to center. It's traveling, it's carrying, it's gone. Solo shot for Boyd. It makes it 6-0. Windy day out there, as I said earlier. It's blowing out. So we might see a few more of those. So here is Sutterth to hit with 2 out and nobody on, and she'll ground it to short, and that will do it. But the Vikings add one more on a home run by Kelsey Boyd. Top of the third, Vikings with a 6-run lead already. And the 9th place hitter will come to the plate for Missouri Baptist. It's Jillian Davis. Christina Bettis with a strike, pitching excellently so far with 6 strikeouts. She's only faced one over the minimum. She did have a walk back in the first. Strike two. Davis is a freshman from Imperial in Windsor High School. Number 7. That means we're back to the top of the order, and Kristen Keith. Strike one. Oh, and 2. Struck her out. Number 8. So here's Jones. And not trying to be trite at all here, but just assume that every player so far has struck out their first time. That's essentially what has happened, other than Brake, who is on deck. Struck out the side. 9 strikeouts so far for Bettis. Veselski will lead it off in the bottom of the 3rd. She's 0 for 1. And she'll pop it up left side. And it's caught. Wasn't necessarily an easy catch. Wynn may have played some tricks with that one, but it's out number 1. So here's Bettis. She doubled and had a couple of RBI her first time. And that is ball 1. One and 1. One ball and 2 strikes on Bettis. Next up, it's Amelia Stone. And Bettis sends that in the air. Into left, and it's caught. Basket catch. The left fielder had to travel back for it. So 2 outs. And here's Stone, who doubled and had an RBI and scored a run back in the first inning. She's playing second base today. Right side, that will get out of play. just a bit outside, so 2-1 on Stone. And Stone hits it high into center field, and it's gone! Second home run of the day for the Vikings. And that makes it 7-0. So now Megan Hagemeyer will hit with 2 outs. She's 1 for 1. And she'll send one high in the air to center. Back to back. 8-0 Jeffco. And we may have a pitching change for Missouri Baptist, and we will. The new pitcher for Missouri Baptist is Erica Folk, replacing Mentel. And that's off the helmet of Simons, excuse me. And so she will be on base. She looks to be okay. It wasn't coming in that quickly, although that's easy for me to say from up here. So Simons is on, and we're back to the top of the order and Egan. So the Vikings had a 6-run first, and then Mentel did get 3 outs in the second. There was a solo shot from Kelsey Boyd, as that one is high in the air to right, and it will fall to the ground out of bounds. In foul territory, I should say. And then moving here to the bottom of the third, Mentel did retire the first 2, but then she gave up back-to-back home runs to Amelia Stone and Megan Hagemeyer. So a pitching change, and then Folk, as you just saw, hit Rainey Simons. It's 0-2 on Egan, and that's ball 1. So here comes the 1-2, and that's high. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. If Egan can extend the inning, then Lauren Duff would hit next. And that one is laced but foul. That one slowly hit back to the pitcher, and that will do it for the bottom of the third. But the Vikings add 2 more on a couple of solo home runs. We move to the top of the fourth, 8-0 Jeffco. And there's a ball to Tayon Jones. And a bunt attempt right back to Bettis, 1 out. And so that's the first out, other than a strikeout for Christina Bettis. Now it's Colby Brake, who walked back in the first inning. She'll hit that off the backstop. Another bunt attempt, that one's foul. So 1-2. Outside, 2-2. Full count here on break. Miranda Brown is on deck for Missouri Baptist. And swing and a miss. Strikeout number 10 for Bettis. And by the way, Adriana Martinez is in the game for Jeffco, playing first base. That one in the air to short. The catch is made by Egan. And a quick inning for Jeffco. They lead it 8-0. Adriana Martinez, one of the subs this game, will check in. She's a sophomore from Sugar Land, Texas. And it's 1-0. She took over for Lauren Duff over at first. Two and one. Two balls and two strikes. And Martinez stays alive. Erica Folk back to work for Missouri Baptist. And a strikeout. And that will bring in Emma Vaughn, who will hit for Kelsey Boyd. So Tony Cook starting to give a rest to some of his starters, as Jeffco leads it by 8 here in the fourth. 8-0. And Vaughn gets into that one, but it will be foul. Vaughn's a freshman from Peevely and Herculaneum High School. It's 1-1. And just a bit high. 2 balls, 1 strike. And that one's hit well over the head of the shortstop for a base hit. So Emma Vaughn will reach. As Kennedy Sudderth will stand in. She's 1 for 2. Ball 1. That one catches the outside corner, so 1 ball, 1 strike. That one's popped high in the sky, and the second baseman will make the catch, 2 out. And Sierra Birch will come to the plate, hitting for Jesse Veselski. She's a freshman from Jackson, Missouri. And she will send that to right field. Backing up is the right fielder. It's off the bottom of the wall. The Vikings will score 1 more at least. And it will just be 1 as Birch is into third with a stand-up triple. So it's 9-0 Jeffco. As Christina Bettis will come to the plate with a chance to add to her lead. Bettis is 1 for 2. She has a couple of RBI today. And there's ball 1. One and 1. One and 2. That floats in there, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs. Runner on third for Jeffco. Three and 2. And a walk to Bettis. So runners at the corners with 2 out. And this will be Danielle Lindsey batting for Stone. Freshman from O'Fallon, Missouri. And she will hit this high in the sky to center. It is off the top of the wall. It makes it 10-0 Jeffco. As Birch came around to score. And so runners at second and third with 2 outs for Kennedy Kohler, who will come into the game for Megan Hagemeyer. So 10-0 Jeffco. Ball 1. Kohler is a sophomore from Bonne Terre. And inside for ball 2. Three and 0. And a 4-pitch walk to Kohler. So the bases will be loaded. For Bailey Schumann. So she's taking over for Rainey Simons. Schumann's a freshman from right here in Hillsboro. So essentially, a completely different lineup now for the Lady Vikings than started this game. Besides the battery, Bettis and Sutterth, as Kelly Williams is on deck, and she would take over for Riley Egan if Schumann extends the inning. And as you can see, we also will have a new pitcher for Missouri Baptist. And that will be Jordan Pearson. Bases loaded, 2 outs. For Schumann. Ball 1. One and 1. And that one's hit hard, and it's a grand slam to make it 14-0. What a day for the Lady Vikings at the plate. Really all around, with Bettis pitching a gem. And we've been there for a while. You know, I didn't want to jinx it. Not that the broadcaster jinx is a real thing, but you know, Jeffco's had enough runs to win this if they can close out the top of the 5th. If it's 7-0, I believe, after 5, then the leading team wins by what many call the mercy rule. And so now, on top of that, Jeffco has an even bigger cushion at 14-0. And so it's Kelly Williams at the plate, who is hitting now in the leadoff spot. She's a sophomore from Wentzville. Oh, excuse me. She was on deck initially, or I guess I just didn't see the other number. This is Morgan Billings. Sorry, Morgan Billings. And Billings is a freshman from Bowling Green, Missouri. So she will likely take over for Egan at short. And it's 1-2. And that's a strikeout. We go to the fifth. Top of the fifth. Christina Bettis and Jeff Coe looking to close it out. Strike one to Kaylee Morris, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. There's a bunt. Bettis has it. 1 out. Bettis has 10 strikeouts. She's only allowed 1 base runner. That was back in the first with a walk. That's ball 1 inside to Nia Ragland. 2-0. There's a strike on the inside corner. 2-1. Three and one. Fouled off, so full count. Bettis looks in the 3-2. Another strikeout, number 11. And that brings in Jacqueline Stewart with 2 down. Ball 1. One and one on Stewart. 1-2. And struck her out. Fitting way to end the game for Bettis. She has 12 strikeouts. She gets the complete game shutout. And an excellent day all around for Jeff Coe as the bats come alive for not only the starters, but for a lot of the subs. So it's been fun, everyone. Thanks for being here. Always appreciate you watching on JCTV. I'm Matt Keeney, and we'll see you next time.